Oh, my head, dude. Oh, what time is it? And what's with all that noise, man? It sounds like a bomb's going off up there. I need to get to the bottom of this.
Run for it, brother! Stop shooting! Stop shooting! You forced my hand.
Dude, be careful, there's a bomb fire. That's all 96! You son of a gun, I'm gonna kill you! This is what you get for killing my friend!
Hooray! 096 was killed. Hopefully there's no
Oh my god. It's been over 8 years.
It is the exact same thing.
SCPSL, a game that puts you in the shoes of multiple factions in the SCP universe, while a containment breach takes place, is a game I'm no stranger to. It's no kidding when you have an idea like this that depth and environment will do a lot to serve you. And while SCPSL has cool lore and interesting rooms, with the overhaul of heavy containment, the boundaries have been pushed. What's possible now? The current zones just don't quite equivalate to the level of quality that you'd want and see in heavy containment zone. And while I could go over probably some of the two most important zones to overhaul, one being widely requested and one being the most populated zone early game, I'd like to do the zone that probably needs the biggest change out of them all. Entrance Zone. Let's start out with why? Why Entrance Zone? Why does it need to be changed most out of all the zones? Well, in the facility undergoing chaos, Entrance Zone stands out as having the least content out of every zone. Despite being an area that is utilized much more during the late game, the only items and lack of mechanics it introduces only hold weight in the early stages of the game. Not only do I believe huge changes and renovations to this zone will make a much better experience of gameplay overall, actually giving use to this zone rather than it being a filler between surface and heavy where facility guards spawn, but I believe fixing Entrance Zone will knock out two birds with one stone. One being a poorly designed zone, and the other being a poorly designed and fitted into the game class. The notoriously disliked Facility Guard. Entrance Zone, like I stated, has a lack of mechanics and content. The only thing Entrance brings to this table itself is lockers, medical cabinets, intercom, and being the spawn point for facility guards. Yet, those first two are not unique to Entrance at all. Lockers and medical cabinets being found in heavy and light. And all that fails to mention these lockers really don't hold anything useful to facility guards or players late in the game. This makes the zone feel very purposeless, with the sole idea just being to put some space between heavy and surface, which I'm pretty sure is its point. And that's a huge problem, and a big reason why Entrance feels so substanceless. And yeah, I guess the rooms are also boring and bland as heck, but who really cares about that? So to revamp Entrance with renovations, we're looking for new content that isn't found anywhere else in the facility, and collectible loot that gives Entrance Zone a reason to explore and get lost in. Facility guards, on the other hand, suffer from having a lack of a clear objective. While Class D and scientists have the clear goal to escape, how they get to that goal and what they do along the way of getting to that goal doesn't really matter. They have the freedom to kill whoever they want, grab whatever loot they want, and kill whatever SCPs they want, all to help their team, but with the end goal of escaping. The same thing goes with MTF and Chaos, where they have the clear goal to eliminate all other factions so they can regain control of the facility. But there's a lot of freedom in what they can do to get to that goal. They can try and activate nuke, they can try and get a bunch of loot, they can try and explore the facility to kill everyone and everything. It's all up to the player. So while they have this solidified goal, how they get to that goal, there's really a lot of flexibility. Facility guards don't have this. Facility guards just have loose rules to check off a list. None of them completely any objective that feels like a win, feels like a win condition. Facility guards can help a scientist escape, kill D-Class, and attempt to kill SCPs, but them spawning early in the game really gives them nothing to do that will solidify their win. In addition, while Class D and scientists start in a zone that give them obvious items to aid them in escape, and MTF and Chaos find items in Heavy and potentially Light that help them carry out their task to kill SCPs and other factions, Facility guards don't have loot anywhere that reinforces their goal. This is why I do believe Entrance Zone and Facility guards go hand in hand. Fixing Entrance Zone might very well be an important piece to the puzzle regarding fixing Facility guards. So, to fix Facility guards, we're going to need to look for a clear objective and items in the facility that will reinforce that objective. Now that we've explained what you've all been waiting for, let's get to reworking Entrance. What the frick? Let's get to reworking Entrance.
What's the next SCP we can nerf? 096 is not looking trash enough. I think we should make him a little bit worse. Huh? Who's there? Who's behind me?
Don't move. Turn around slowly.
I don't know who you are, but please don't hurt me. I just work here. I'm not the big 05.
Okay,
I want to control this place.
Stop. Don't worry, okay? I'm not here to hurt you. I just need you to help me. I need you to help me fix this zone. This zone is so bad. Come on, bro, come on. Let's be real. Let's just work together to try and renovate this site.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's not so bad. But hold on, first I need to add another SCP item, and I need to add another gun to the game, of course. Another balance change for an SCP. They aren't really bad.
What did you just goddamn say to me?
Wait, wait. Wait, I can explain. I mean, we could push those back. We don't have to do those now.
Oh my god. You're even worse than I thought.
Wait, please don't do it.
Sayonara. I guess I'll have to do this thing on my own. Well, except not actually. Huge shout out and thanks to my friend Eric. I really appreciate him. He helped me create a couple of these visuals for the ideas I had. So huge thanks to him. With all of these rooms I want to present, I want to replace all the bland rooms by giving a couple 2, 3, and even 4 ways, as well as dead end ideas, to be able to replace a lot of the current ones that there are. If I say I imagine a room as a 3-way, it isn't just limited to that. I want a lot of the rooms I give to be up to the interpretation of the viewer, as well as Northwood. Descriptions and illustrations I will give, I want to be respectfully vague, to give room for it to be an original idea of Northwood. That includes artistic ingenuity. Artistic ingenuity? Artistic ingenuity. Ingenuity. Bam. Artistic ingenuity. The first thing that ever came to mind when I thought of the idea of overhauling Entrance was a welcome center, designed as a 3-way room. A front desk in the middle of the room with a sign above stating Site 02, where computers are present and there is a supposed clock in and clock out system. This would give a lively feel, like an active facility outside of this containment breach you play in is present, giving more depth. This also opens the door and gives a lot of potential to adding lore and detail, whether on the computer screens, a lanyard or badge dangling off a chair, cabinets behind the counter, or maybe filing cabinets. There is even potential for a special type of locker just for Entrance Zone to be present behind this counter or under the front desk that holds a small firearm. I also think this room would have a circular look, being the only room that's circular. It will give off a more welcoming aesthetic rather than the entire facility's rough and rigid feel. The facility, despite quite literally containing thousands of anomalous creatures, holds no tactile records of such SCPs. A room that would be a fresh breath of air, contrasting to the empty and pointless dead ends that we see now, an entrance, would be a storage room. A messy room holding filing cabinets upon filing cabinets on the walls. Old computers and monitors out of use would be strewn across the floor. Lore can also be expanded upon, with files exposed and extended out of cabinets or on the floor scattered around. Pens, pencils, really just a bunch of potential for office supplies to be placed around this room. While I don't want to completely add an entire new SCP item in a video like this, which is why you should watch some of the old videos I made, I feel it would be beneficial to let SCP items spawn an entrance, to again give it a reason to be explored. This file room, I think, would be a plausible room to hold an SCP item, whether in a glass case, needing a keycard with a sticky note on it that says something like "don't use" to explain why it's been stashed away in such a random place, or something else of that nature. This would give a reason, again, for the room to be explored, as usually when you see a dead end, there is absolutely zero incentive to explore it. Like how light has airlocks and heavy has Teslas, I feel there should be some sort of obstacle and entrance. That led me on to the routes of security checkpoints. With a little side window and computer to give a sense of depth in the room, a metal detector stands in the middle of the hallway. Walking through it as a Class D or Chaos will cause the sensors to go off, giving a blaring alarm in a short proximity, alerting MTF or possible SCPs. If you are not of that faction, walking through the security checkpoints will serve no problem. This room serves to give an obstacle an entrance, and not only add more lively content and new features, but also put a thorn in any escaping Class D's plan or a lurking Chaos insurgency going against MTF. This would force players to reconsider game strategies or find a way around. You knew it was coming, I knew it was coming, everyone knew it was coming. I think a cafeteria would sincerely be beneficial to the facility. It would give more of the sense that people spend long periods in this facility outside of when the game takes place, adding more of a sense of depth and realism and liveliness. But above that all, I think there is one more valuable asset that the cafeteria brings to the table, and I'll discuss that in a second. But first, I need to describe how the cafeteria would be the biggest room and entrance, giving a vast open area contrasting to the usual restricted facility, spicing up gunplay and interactions with opposing teams. The potential to see a kitchen that is inaccessible, that merely adds depth by letting you see more parts of the map, would be very beneficial, and this room would even have an option for a second floor, a small bridge between each side of the room that gives an upper floor with lunch tables. So, what's this valuable asset that the cafeteria could bring? SCP-294, otherwise known as the coffee machine. This would serve as a version of SCP-330, an entrance that doesn't require keycard access and lets you choose what drink you want. From a limited roster, players could give themselves a cup of liquid to drink anytime they wish, to grant them a temporary buff. Despite being an office space, Entrance doesn't hold a room where multiple personnel can meet up and discuss on topics. A cool 2A room will hold a meeting room, a small room holding a table, chairs, and a whiteboard all the seats are able to gaze at. This room would have a glass window on the wall that will let you see into the room from the hallway outside. The room not only leaves an open window for lore on the whiteboard, but leaves the room for environmental storytelling. Chairs are disorganized, some pushed in, some pulled out, others on the floor, as if they were left in a hurry. Papers and notes and pens sit on the table. It was clear people were here, but had to evacuate on a short But had to evacuate on a short notice due to the containment breach. It's up to whoever is watching this if the room is inaccessible or not. You could either completely prevent camping or have a funny room to do bits in. The thing about rooms in Heavy and Light is that the majority of them hold a purpose or have some useful loot to take. Very few are purely aesthetic, yet I still think they are important to keep. This room would just be a filler while adding depth and opening the floor for people to do bits with the room. Entrance misses something present in both Heavy and Light that I think would actually translate very well. It's not containment cells, but an armory, a dead-end room. It would provide some higher class loot and only be opened by a high-level keycard. The weapons would be stored on a higher level to that room, but below would be a shooting range with SCPs and Armed Class D cutouts as targets. This would add a level of liveliness to the facility, making it look used from day-to-day life. And there is also the option to have funny posters in here. I believe the room would give a cool level of depth and interaction with the player. Since the shooting range wouldn't require a keycard, it wouldn't be easily camped, especially with gunshots ringing out. A four-way room that would provide an interesting combat perspective and interactions with other players would be a large room with a set of cubicles in the middle. This would give an outer layer of clear walkway with occasional desks, serving to give you a clear view, while the majority of the middle of the room is filled with office desks and cubicles. This obscures a big part of the room, giving a sense of uncertainty while traveling through it. Of course, much lore can be added in this room, and even a potential SCP item. And last but not least, I wanted to kind of just list two ideas off, because one of them doesn't feel big enough to be on its own. One idea I have is a bathrooms, similar to the ones that are in Light and Heavy, because why wouldn't there be one in Entrance? I think it would be cool if there were, like the doors were ajar and you couldn't enter, but also outside there could be a mop bucket, like a janitorial place, and a chart of bathroom times, like people clocking in and clocking out their bathroom breaks. That could be a cool lore thing. Next is just a little tag-along. Next is just a little add-on to the current thing we have, which is the evacuation zone, where there's a bunch of bodies in this disheveled place behind a gate. I think it would be very cool if there were bodies outside of it reaching for reaching for it, just short of safety, or what they thought was going to be safety. Wait, but that still leaves Facility Guard to be fixed.
Hey, I'm Mom Bobby Sauce Jr.
Well, we've completely renovated the entrance zone. So how does this tie into solving the deep down problem with facility guards? Well, like I previously stated, I feel like a weak starter zone was a part of the major issue. With the additions like SCP-294 and other helpful loot that gives the player a step up and encourages facility guards to explore entrance zone for just a couple of minutes to get some better loot before entering the facility. This should reinforce the task of facility guards while not delaying them from helping the game flow better. But evidently, just fixing entrance zone only solves half of the facility guard's issue. The remaining part in question being, what is the facility guard's objective? If I were to give the facility guard a clear gameplay route, I think a facility guard should have the chance to be promoted to a senior facility guard if they complete a specific task. This task could be assigned randomly from the start, or be whatever task you complete first. It can range from dealing a significant amount of damage to an SCP, restoring order by killing a Class D who only have killed another player, or helping a scientist/Class D escape and get promoted to MTF. This promotion the facility guard faces will grant the player better gear than the gear they started with, and should be in time where when the game has progressed enough, your objective to eliminate other factions, just like MTFs, feels reinforced and stronger. This will make it feel like when you're a facility guard, you have more of a strong objective. Now, what gear the senior facility guard gets, I'd like to keep the floor open, whether it be existing items in the game or new items that should be added entirely. With the facility completely rebuilt, and the facility guards having the ability to be promoted, what's next? Well, nothing. That's where this ends. I'm sure everyone could agree it's healthy to look into the idea of adding new content and revamping, and it should be a talking ground we're happy to discuss. Right? I forgot that people are so tunnel-visioned on how balanced and practical things are that we forget to just be happy of the idea of new content and the idea it's being thought of. That it should be entertained, not just immediately shot down. Is this video completely flawed? Did I really go nowhere with this, just for it to go to an audience that doesn't even want it? Or maybe it will be seen, but not actually be listened to until 2 years later, when a more popular YouTuber talks about it, and then that's when it should actually be considered at all. Or maybe we're all just the product of our environment. Wait, hold on. No, sorry, that's the wrong philosophical topic. Or maybe I only do these videos as a thought exercise. I would love to see this game do well, and I think just throwing ideas to be talked about on the way is cool. And in a community that wants to see future updates, I think everything should be entertained to some extent, especially when it's talking about adding something new. Well, it's been quite the journey, and I've really said everything I've wanted to say. I hope you all like my return. I'm trying to go for a different style and take a more laid-back approach to everything. I know I cared a lot in the past, and sometimes I think that made me come across more harshly. And with this coming back, I want to try and be more calm about everything. I want to implement jokes and do all sorts of fun stuff. Yet sadly, I find I'm better with bouncing off of people, and when I actually try and write a joke, it just sounds stupid and not funny. It makes the script hard to follow. But I'm trying, and I'm hoping to continue this grind. I can only thank you for watching this video as far as you have, and while a lot of these ideas might need revision, it might not be the most practical. The point isn't to be perfect. And the point never was to be perfect. The point was to have a fun look towards something new, a brand new idea. Have a great rest of your day, or night, or whatever. Until next time, see you on the flip side.